I've been dropped into the body of a tragic romance novel's male lead, and today is the day we get divorced. Right as I'm about to sign the papers, a series of glowing text boxes flicker into my vision. Hi GH alert. Incoming reconciliation arc. The drama is about to peak. Elmo can't wait to see this jerk refuse to sign, then break down sobbing and beg the female lead for forgiveness. Make him suffer, he won't sign. This is the moment he's supposed to wake up, right? He must know by now that his precious Evelyn was framed by that other woman. Seeing the comments, I just smirked. Then, without a moment's hesitation, I signed the divorce papers. I'm not the real main character, so why the hell should I have to go through his romantic melodrama? I've been transmigrated into some trashy, old novel titled The CEO's Captive Heart, and I'm now inhabiting the body of its cruel, blind, pathologically possessive, and ultimately pathetic male lead, Cole Anderson. Right now, I'm at the city clerk's office about to finalize a divorce. The woman sitting next to me is beautiful, but her face is ashen, white as a sheet of paper. This is Evelyn Reed, my wife, in the eyes of the law, though not for much longer. According to the novel, we've been married for 3 years. In that time, I, or rather the original Cole, was a monster. I ignored her, humiliated her, accused her of cheating, and forced her to have an abortion. A complete and utter but the novel insists that deep down, I'm obsessively in love with her. My cruelty was just a twisted reaction to the manipulations of a two-faced family friend and the taunts of Evelyn's own suspiciously close best friend. The book's plot was simple. The male lead acts like a monster. The female lead suffers. Then the male lead has a sudden epiphany and begins a long, torturous journey of groveling to win her back. In the end, he ends up broke with a broken leg and nearly dies. She never forgives him, and he's left a hollowed-out shell of a man. A miserable, pathetic end. As I'm thinking this over, those shimmering semi-transparent text boxes pop up again, kind of blocking my view. Hi, GH alert. Reconciliation arc incoming. Wake up, Cole, you idiot. Look at everything Evelyn's done for you. You're finished if you sign that. I'll bet you $5 he's about to tear up the divorce agreement and scream, I don't agree. It's a classic scene. A live stream chat. I get it. They're spectators from another dimension. They're here for the show, waiting to see me suffer, to watch me grovel my way down that dead-end road of regret. I look at the words and let out a dry laugh, the corner of my mouth twitching. A reconciliation arc. What's it got to do with me? I'm not Cole Anderson. Why should I suffer hell for some fictional idiot's mistakes? A broken leg, bankruptcy, begging. On my knees, is this a joke? Isn't freedom better? The survival instinct kicking in is primal and intense. Escape all of this right now. The clerk pushes the agreement over, sliding it in front of me and tapping the signature line. Evelyn isn't looking at me. Her gaze is fixed on the tabletop, her eyes vacant. She's already signing her copy, her name, scrawled quickly, forcefully, as if she's trying to escape something. The pen is right there. I pick it up. The chat is still scrolling, a frantic dense wall of text. His expression is so cold. Is he really going to sign? No way. He's faking it. Just watch. He's about to explode. Getting my screen recorder ready for the iconic scene. I ignore the noisy chatter and just bring the pen to the paper. The nib glides smoothly as I write out Cole Anderson. It's fast and steady without a trace of hesitation. My hand doesn't even tremble. I put the pen down and push the document back to the clerk. Done, I say, my voice surprisingly light. The entire office is quiet except for the low hum of the air conditioning. The clerk looks a little stunned, glancing from the paper to me, then over at Evelyn. They probably don't see many divorces go this smoothly, especially not from a CEO with a reputation for being so in love with his wife. Evelyn has finished signing, too. She finally lifts her head, her empty eyes meeting mine. But now it isn't just pure numbness in them. There's something else. Shock and complete utter disbelief. The live stream chat exploded. WTF, he signed. He actually signed. This isn't in the script. Director. What happened to tearing up the papers? What about the dramatic realization? No. Where's my drama? Is this what I paid for? I want a refund. The clerk, recovering quickly, processes the paperwork with impressive efficiency. 2 small crimson-covered booklets were handed over. The divorce certificates. It's done. I'm emotionally free. I stand up and stretch, feeling a weight lift. I glance over and see Evelyn is still sitting there, staring down at the certificate in her hand, like it's a branding iron. I don't give her a second look. I turn and walk away. My strides are long and purposeful, eager to get out of this place. The chat is scrolling like a broken slot machine. He just left. He really just walked away. Didn't even look back. What about the reconciliation? What about the suffering? Did the writers just give up? Seeley, get back here. Get back here and kneel. Wait a second. Doesn't he seem a little too relieved? I step out of the government building and into the blinding sunlight. The city sounds of Midtown Manhattan hit me. A symphony of traffic and life. The air feels fresher out here. My driver has the black Lincoln Navigator waiting at the curb. I pull open the door and sink into the plush leather seat. It's comfortable. Back to the office, sir, the driver asks. Yeah. I lean back and close my eyes. My head is still throbbing, but the anvil that was sitting on my chest is gone. I feel lighter than I have in, well, ever. The car pulls into traffic, leaving the city clerk's office behind. My phone buzzes. I pull it out. The screen is lit up with the name, Chloe Vance. The other woman, the beautiful venomous snake, who in the novel framed Evelyn and tricked the original Cole into thinking the baby wasn't his. She was one of the main catalysts for his downfall. The chat instantly lights up. Here we go. The other woman is calling. She's definitely calling to comfort him. He's going to go cry on her shoulder now. Let the trash take out the trash. Just leave our Evelyn alone. I look at the name and feel a wave of disgust. I hang up, then with a flick of my thumb, drag the contact into the block list. Just like that, half my problems are gone. The chat has another meltdown. He hung up and he blocked her. WF, what the hell is this? What is happening? This is not how the story goes. Cole, snap out of it. Wait, does he know? Does he know Chloe framed Evelyn? So what if he knows? It's too late. You're still a scumbag. The driver catches my eye in the rearview mirror. Mr. Anderson, that was Ms. Vance. Don't mention her name again, I say. My voice is quiet but cold. The driver immediately shuts up. Yes, Mr. Anderson. The phone rings again. This time it's my assistant. I answer. Mr. Anderson, is everything finalized? His voice is cautious, testing the waters. Yes, it's done, I reply flatly. Should I arrange for a settlement for Ms. Vance? Not a dime. Stick to the prenup. I cut him off. I remember the prenuptial agreement. Evelyn had signed it. She leaves with nothing. The original Cole had forced it on her after Chloe convinced him Evelyn was pregnant with another man's child right before he made her get the abortion. Have her things packed and thrown out. Don't deliver them anywhere. And make sure you get the keys back. There's a clear pause on the other end of the line. Understood, sir. But what should I tell your father? Mr. Anderson Sr. has always been very fond of Miss Vance. Read my father. In the book, he was one of the few people who was decent to Evelyn. Too bad his son was a piece of crap. He's the one who eventually disowned the main character, leaving him penniless. I'll handle him myself. Now, head back to the office. I want all department heads in the main conference room in 1 hour. I want to see the latest financial reports. And project timelines, all of them, I add. And if they aren't there in 30 minutes, they can turn in their resignations. Yes, sir, right away. My assistant's voice is suddenly tight with urgency. He hangs up. The chat is a blur of text, scrolling so fast I can barely read it. This isn't a divorce. This is a scorched earth campaign, cold-blooded. 3 years of Evelyn's life wasted on this monster. Blocked Chloe, kicked out Evelyn, and now he's back to work. What the hell possessed this guy? His business brain just activated. He's all about the money now. He didn't just reject the reconciliation script, he set it on fire. Ha ha, crying laugh. I arrive at the corporate headquarters and push open the door to my office. A figure lunges at me, trailing a cloud of expensive perfume. It's Chloe Vance. Her eyes are red-rimmed as if she's been crying. Her voice is thick and clawing. Cole, why did you block me? What did I do wrong? I sidestep her neatly. She stumbles, catching herself before she falls. Cole, honey, she turns, her face a mask of wounded confusion. I walk past her and settle into the large leather chair behind my desk. I look up, my gaze like ice. Who let you in? I heard from your assistant that you got divorced. I was worried about you, she says, trying to inch closer. Get out. What? Chloe freezes. Right now, immediately, get out of my office. I point to the door, and don't ever come near this building again. Her face flushes from pale white to furious red. Cole, how could you? Security. I press the button on my intercom. The chat is going insane. Damn, that's cold. He's treating the love of his life like this, too. Chloe's face is priceless right now. El Mayo, that was a slap in the face without even touching her. So satisfying. Did Cole take the wrong pills this morning? It's like he's pissed off at the whole world. 2 security guards enter moments later. Mr. Anderson, please escort Miss Vance out of the building. From now on, she is not permitted on the premises without my express permission. I look down at a file on my desk, dismissing her completely. Yes, sir. The guards turn to Chloe. Miss Vance, if you'll please, come with us. Cole Anderson, you're a bastard. I'm never speaking to you again. Chloe shrieks as she's half led, half dragged from my office. The room is finally quiet again. The chat is still buzzing. He really kicked her out. Badass. The beloved other woman just got demoted to a nobody. The plot has gone completely off the rails. I don't understand what's happening, but I'm deeply impressed. Is this the scumbag turning over a new leaf? No, this doesn't feel like redemption. It feels like he got a brain transplant. I ignore the chat. My phone rings again. It's the house manager from the family estate telling me my father wants me home. Now I drive to the old family townhouse on the Upper East Side. I find my father, Arthur Anderson, sitting on a sofa in the grand living room, his face dark with fury. To my surprise, Evelyn is there, too. She's standing in the middle of the room. At her feet is an open suitcase, and she's carefully placing a few folded items of clothing inside. When she hears my footsteps, she pauses for a second, but doesn't turn around, simply resuming her task. My father sees me and slams his hand down on the arm of the sofa. "You worthless boy, you have some explaining to do." "Dad, you see the situation. The papers are signed," I say calmly. "She'll be gone as soon as she's done packing." My father leaps to his feet. "Who said she's going anywhere?" He strides over to Evelyn and slams the lid of her suitcase shut. "Evelyn, you stop that right now. If anyone's leaving, it's not you." Evelyn's hands freeze in midair. My father whirls on me, his finger jabbing at the air an inch from my face. "The one who should get the hell out is you, Cole. I have no son who is this heartless, this blind." The chat goes into overdrive. Whoa, the old man is a powerhouse. Cole's got to be terrified now. He's about to get on his knees and beg, right? Waiting for the tearful apology and the plea for forgiveness. My father turned back to Evelyn, his voice softening. "Evelyn, don't leave. Cole has really changed. I just got word. He's already blocked that Chloe woman and banned her from the company. He still loves you, he does." His chest heaved with emotion. Evelyn's eyes flickered with surprise, as if she couldn't comprehend that I would actually cut ties with Chloe, whom I'd supposedly adored. Seeing my silence, my father's anger flared again. "Cole, I'm telling you right now, if you actually go through with this divorce, you can get the hell out of this house. The Anderson family will no longer have you as its heir. Evelyn is a wonderful woman, and you've done nothing but torture her. You're nothing without her." He glared at me, waiting for me to beg, to take it all back, to have the sudden epiphany the novel's script demanded, the tearful breakdown, the groveling on the floor. I looked at him, then I glanced at Evelyn. She was watching me, too, her lips pressed into a thin, tight line. The air was stretched taut, like a bowstring about to snap. I nodded. My voice was perfectly calm. "Okay." My father froze. Evelyn's eyes widened just a fraction. A flicker of something unreadable. Something beyond mere shock flashed across her face. Was it a hint of suspicion or just utter bewilderment? The chat lagged for a second, then erupted. "What did he say?" "Okay, he just said okay." "Wait, hold on. Did he get the wrong script? His father just told him to get out of the family, and he said okay. He's lost it. Cole has completely lost his mind." Look at Evelyn's face. Even she didn't see that coming. Holy crap, what kind of plot twist is this? He didn't just reject the reconciliation script. He torched it. He's giving up his family for this. My father's mouth hung open, his face turning a deep shade of crimson. He was speechless. Evelyn's gaze was pinned to my face. I didn't look at either of them again. I turned and walked up the grand staircase. I was going to my room to pack. The taste of freedom, damn, it was refreshing. The chat was still a frantic blur. He's giving up a fortune, the inheritance, all for a divorce. This scumbag has achieved a new level of scumbag. He's a scumbag with principles. Evelyn, I spent 3 years preparing for a tragic, epic romance, and this is what I get. The world is broken. This book is unreadable now. Just then, Evelyn stepped in front of me, blocking my path. Her expression was grim. "Cole, I'm the one who should be leaving, but I need you to know the baby I lost was yours. It wasn't Leo's. I never did anything to betray you. You stop playing these hot and cold games. I won't see you again." I raised a hand to my brow, squinting at her with a lazy smile. "I'll help you pack. Your words are music to my ears. By the way, there's a company gala tonight. Please, whatever you do, don't come. I really don't want to see you there." Evelyn's brow furrowed, a flicker of anger in her eyes. I looked down, idly rubbing my thumb over my fingertips. "If you don't come, then Leo won't come. I'm not letting Chloe come. Everything will be perfect. So, please, I'm begging you, don't show up." She just stared, confused. I'd read the novel, of course. I knew the trashy, melodramatic plot points. Tonight at the gala, the original Cole sees Evelyn arrive with her best friend, Leo Foster. He flies into a jealous rage, publicly kisses Chloe, and solidifies the rift between himself and Evelyn. He then gets into a fistfight with Leo, making Evelyn lose all hope. Finally, his father publicly disowns him, and he's cast out, broke, and alone, officially kicking off his miserable grappling tour. Right now, all I had to do was convince Evelyn not to go, and none of that would happen. A clean break, a happy ending for everyone. But if they dare to show up, they shouldn't be surprised when I decide to burn it all to the ground. I already had evidence the original novel never mentioned. Freedom felt too good. Who had time to play these games of love? And hate it was so boring. No chasing, no grappling, no being a slave to some pre-written story. My time, my space, my future, reconciliation arcs. Tragic love stories, all of it. I was going to make money, build my career, and live a life of absolute freedom. Just leave me the hell alone. But Evelyn, in a rare show of defiance, lifted her chin and stared at me with newfound stubbornness. I'm going. Who are you to tell me not to? As expected, the chat went wild. Evelyn, you want to listen? Sorry, my rebellious phase just started. Now it's a series. My ex-husband told me not to go to the gala, so I'm definitely going. Cole versus Leo. Who will win? Tonight is going to be an absolute train wreck. Can't wait to see Cole break down and beg for forgiveness. I read the book. The massive showdown is about to begin. If the male lead doesn't end up miserable, I'll eat my hat, idiots. I didn't bother with Evelyn or the chat. Shaking my head, I went back to the office. The conference room was already full, the silence thick enough to cut with a knife. Everyone sat bolt upright, their expressions grim. Stacks of files covered the table. The projector was on, and the air was tense. They were all sneaking glances at me, their eyes filled with a mixture of fear and uncertainty. The gossip had clearly made the rounds. Mr. Anderson got divorced today. His mood must be apocalyptic, and everyone was bracing for the fallout. Besides, the old Cole was an incompetent tyrant who gave nothing but terrible orders. I walked to the head of the table and sat down. No small talk. Let's begin, I said. Financier first. The CFO immediately stood up, launching into his report, a torrent of numbers, revenue, profits, costs, cash flow. His voice was fast with a slight tremble. I listened, my mind automatically processing the data. Before I got dropped into this mess, I worked in finance. Reading a balance sheet is second nature. I spotted the holes, the inflated numbers, the inconsistencies in a single glance. Stop, I interrupted him, pointing to a line item on the projection screen. Right there. Q3 marketing expenses, a 35% year-over-year increase. Explain, sweat beaded on the CFO's forehead. Mr. Anderson. Bet was 4 sponsorships of several large-scale events and a celebrity endorsement. Which celebrity? Where's the performance evaluation? The ROI data? What about the event's conversion rate tracking? My voice was quiet, but each word landed like a hammer blow. You don't have it. It was a waste of money. Who approved this budget? You. The CFO's face went pale. It was a recommendation from Ms. Vance and our marketing director, Ms. Reed. She also thought it was viable. Chloe and Evelyn again. The chat floated a few comments about me trying to shift blame. Evelyn Reed is no longer a director here. I said, looking straight at him. We're divorced. She has no affiliation with Anderson Corp. And Chloe Vance, who the hell is she? Since when does an outsider have any say in this company's finances? The room went dead silent. Everyone held their breath. They all knew I used to hang on Chloe's every word, ignoring their stunned faces. I continued coldly. This was a failure of oversight from the finance department. The department head will forfeit 3 months of their bonus. And you, I stared at the CFO, you can forget about your year-end bonus. This is your only warning. Let it happen again, and you can clear out your desk. The CFO's knees buckled slightly. He barely managed to stay on his feet. Yes, Mr. Anderson, I'll launch a full investigation immediately and hold the responsible parties accountable. Next, I turned my attention to the next person. Project management, the West Side development. Why is it 2 months behind schedule? The project manager shot to his feet and began to explain zoning issues and permit delays. I listened, interjecting to ask about key milestones, responsible parties, and proposed solutions. I was relentless, efficient, and didn't waste a single word. The atmosphere in the room slowly shifted from fear to a grudging respect. No one dared to slack off or offer excuses. I drilled down on each of them until they were sweating, but they couldn't deny the validity of my questions. It was like I was a different person. I wasn't shouting or swearing, but this new Cole was far more intimidating than the old volatile one. My eyes were too sharp, my questions too precise. Every word hit its mark. The tone of the chat began to change. To, whoa, he's actually working. Like really working. That presence is kind of terrifying. His questions are so professional, right on the money. Is this the same trust fund brat who only knew how to solve problems with money and yelling? The divorce must have been a huge shock. It's like it unlocked his final form. A man focused on his career is kind of scary, but also kind of hot. Shut up, I didn't say that. The chat is turning. Don't you dare switch sides. He's a smag, but it really seems like he doesn't care about Evelyn anymore. He won't even say her name. The meeting lasted a full 3 hours. By the time it was over, everyone looked like they'd just survived a battle. They were exhausted, but there was something new in their eyes. It wasn't just fear anymore, there was a hint of respect. I stood up. Meeting adjourned. I want solutions for every issue we discussed on my desk by noon tomorrow. I want to see concrete action items with names and deadlines. If you can't deliver, I'll find someone who can. Yes, Mr. Anderson. The response was crisp and surprisingly unified. I strode out of the conference room, bypassing my own office and heading straight to my assistant's desk. Find me a new apartment in Midtown. Top 2. Security, maximum privacy. I need to move in tonight. As for my things at the family estate, pack up anything useful and have it sent over. The rest, throw it out. My assistant stared for a moment. Sir, you're not going back to the townhouse. That's my father's house, not mine. I have no desire to live with any member of my family right now. I looked at him. Understand. Understood. He immediately started taking notes. I'll get on it right away. One more thing, I added. Change all my passwords, the locks on my office, the security systems, especially the townhouse. Do a complete sweep. I don't want anyone gaining access to my space without my permission. Anyone, including your father and Ms. Reed, including everyone, I said, my voice leaving no room for argument. Yes, sir, he replied, his voice firm. The chat was still in a state of confusion. He's moving out a complete separation. Is he going rogue? Starting his own empire? I feel like something big is about to happen. Wait, isn't this supposed to be a tragic romance? Why do I feel kind of thrilled? With all that arranged, I finally returned to my own cavernous office. Through the floor-to-ceiling windows, the city skyline stretched out before me. The golden light of the setting sun streamed in, illuminating the tiny dust motes dancing in the air. I walked to the window, watching the endless flow of traffic and people below. As for the chat, the colorful text was still scrolling across my vision. What's he doing, standing by the window trying to look deep? He's regretting it. He must be regretting not fighting for Evelyn. I'll bet you $5 he's about to call. Her classic scumbag move. Pretend you don't care to lure her back in. I looked at the flickering words and chuckled silently, shaking my head. A bunch of lonely souls, unable to find happiness in their own world. So, they come here to feel something pathetic. I felt the small USB drive my assistant had just handed me in my pocket. I pulled out my phone, found a name in my contacts, and dialed. Michael, it's Cole. I sent my voice. Come, I need you to set up a personal trust. I want all my non-corp assets, real estate, stocks, investments, everything transferred into it. I want it managed independently, completely firewalled from the family business. I'll be the sole beneficiary. There were a few seconds of silence on the other end. Then my lawyer's voice, now much more serious, came through. Understood, Cole. I'll handle all the legal necessities to ensure it's airtight. You'll have the documents by 10 a.m. tomorrow. Good. I hung up. The last rays of the sun sank below the skyscrapers, leaving behind a glittering sea of city lights. I watched the view, my vision momentarily clear as the chat seemed to freeze. A trust separating his assets with himself as the beneficiary. Was he planning? Is he writing his will? This is a huge move. Is he really planning to go it alone for the rest of his life? Does Evelyn know he just locked away all his money? Well, so much for the reconciliation arc. He's not even trying. The charity gala was in full swing. Crystal chandeliers cast a dazzling light, and the air buzzed with conversation. I was leaning against the corner of the bar, holding a glass of champagne, my eyes scanning the crowd. Evelyn was here just as I predicted, and her best friend Leo Foster was right beside her, standing a little too close as they spoke. He was smiling, looking like the cat that got the cream. Evelyn's expression was neutral, but she wasn't pulling away. On the other side of the room, Chloe Vance was flitting about like a social butterfly, playing the part of a hostess, though her eyes kept darting in my direction, trying to catch my attention. The chat started up right on cue. Holy crap, the whole cast is here. The main event is about to begin. Look at Leo, smiling like he's already won. Evelyn, you fool. Chloe is still trying to reel him in. That woman has no shame. Cole's just brooding in the corner. Get in there, man, this is killing me. Place your bets. People, how long until Cole snaps? I give him 5 minutes. Waiting for him to lose it and deck Leo. Let's get a fight going. Leo spotted me. A smug grin spread across his face as he put a hand on Evelyn's waist and steered her toward me. Her body tensed for a moment and she tried to shrug him off, but he held firm. They stopped in front of me. Leo raised his glass in a mock toast. Cole, heard you took care of some big business today. Congratulations on your newfound freedom. He shot a deliberate look at Evelyn. Evelyn and I are happy for you too. Evelyn said nothing, just sipped her drink and watched me, her expression unreadable. The chat went into a frenzy. Leo is attacking him head. Kill him, Cole. Do it. Evelyn is being used as a pawn. My heart breaks for her. Cole's face is like stone. He must be planning his next move. Chloe saw her chance and scurried over. She turned to Leo and Evelyn, her voice dripping with fake concern. Leo, Evelyn, I don't think this is the time to be provoking Cole. He's going through a lot right now. You should just ... Leo just scoffed. Going through a lot. More like he's lost his mind. Letting a woman like Evelyn go. Chloe immediately stepped in front of me, adopting a protective stance. Leo, watch what you say. You have no right to talk about Cole like that. The chat completely lost it. Oh my god. The manipulative drama queen is protecting her man. This is the main event of the year. Leo is pouring gasoline on the fire, and Chloe is fanning the flames. They're a perfect match. Come on, Cole, say something. Tear them to shreds. I can't take the suspense. Why isn't he exploding? This is so out of character. It's over. The shock must have broken his brain. I looked at the three of them. One goading me, one putting on a show, one standing in silence. It was like watching a bad circus act. I just smiled. I had been planning on quietly making money, but since they were all so eager to self-destruct, who was I to stop them? I took out my phone and tapped the screen a few times. The massive display screen behind the stage, which had been playing a loop of boring corporate ads, suddenly flickered and switched. It was now showing a hidden camera video. The angle was discreet, but the image was crystal clear, and the audio was piped directly into the ballroom sound system. It was a video of Leo and Chloe in a private room somewhere. The chat stuttered for a second, then went absolutely nuclear. The big screen? Holy crap, he's putting it on the big screen. What is Cole doing? That angle, it's a hidden camera. Warning, warning, something big is coming. This wasn't in the original novel. What is happening on the screen? Leo poured himself a drink and smirked at Chloe. Chloe, you're a genius. Bribing that doctor to swear Evelyn's pregnancy was early term, making the timeline impossible for the weak Cole, who was out of town. That idiot Cole bought it hook, line, and sinker. Chloe giggled, covering her mouth. He deserved it. Who told him to only have eyes for that Evelyn? I wanted him to be the one to destroy his own child. I wanted to force Evelyn out with nothing. I want him to regret it for the rest of his life. And you played your part perfectly, darling, inviting Evelyn out for that friendly dinner that night. It was flawless. Leo clinked his glass against hers to a successful partnership. All I want is Evelyn. Once that blind fool Cole loses her and pisses off his own father, Anderson Corp will be in turmoil. When that happens, Evelyn will have nowhere else to turn but to me. Chloe's eyes glittered with malice. And Cole will be mine. How dare he think he can just cast me aside when he's lost everything and comes crawling back to me? Just wait and see how I'll make him pay. As the video played, the entire ballroom fell into a stunned, deathly silence. Every single person was staring at the giant screen, their mouths agape. Leo's smug smile froze on his face, the color draining from his cheeks until he was ghost white. The confidence in his eyes turned to sheer panic. He whipped his head around to look at me, his expression one of pure terror, as if he'd just seen a ghost. Chloe's performance of fake tears and wounded pride shattered instantly. She stood there, trembling, her mouth hanging open, as if her bones had turned to jelly. Her eyes were wide and unfocused. No, Cole, you have to listen to me, she stammered, making a move, as if to shut it off. I shot her a single ice-cold glare. She froze in place. But the most shocked of all was Evelyn. She was staring transfixed at the screen. Her body swayed, and the wine glass in her hand slipped from her fingers, shattering on the polished floor with a sharp crack. Red wine splattered across the hem of her white dress like drops of blood. She didn't even notice. She just stood there, her eyes wide with a violent seismic shock, disbelief, then a vast, terrifying emptiness. And finally, the cold, hard embers of fury began to glow. Slowly, so slowly, she turned her head. First, she looked at Leo, who was now pale as death and shaking like a leaf. Then, she looked at Chloe, who was on the verge of collapsing, her face a mask of utter despair. Evelyn's lips trembled. She couldn't form a single word. The chat had completely and utterly melted down. A tsunami of text flooded my vision. Ah, a nuke. Cole just dropped a nuclear bomb. Itchy. Crap. Holy crap. Holy crap. The plot twist, the ultimate reversal. Leo and Chloe, those two vermin. It was them all along. Evelyn. Look at Evelyn's face. I'm heartbroken for her. See, well, you're not just Cole, you're a god. This is next-level genius. So, when he signed the divorce papers and blocked Chloe and threw her out, it was because he already knew the truth. He wasn't a scumbag, he was playing a long game. Holy crap, this script is amazing. To everyone who is hating on Cole, get on your knees. All hail, Mr. Anderson. The reconciliation arc just turned into a revenge thriller. Epic. Evelyn is broken. Her entire world just collapsed. Look at Leo and Chloe. Their faces are green. I think they're going to be sick. Haha. This is too much information. My brain is overheating. I need a minute. The video finally ended, and the screen went black. The ballroom was still shrouded in a dead, suffocating silence. Everyone was choking on the sheer stunning drama of it all. I set down my untouched glass of champagne and looked at Evelyn. She was catatonic, her face paler than paper. Her eyes were lost and pained as if her soul had been ripped out. Did you see that clearly? I asked her. Those are your trusted friends. The man you almost married before me. I let out a cold, sharp laugh. The baby was mine. You never betrayed me. The ones who betrayed you were them. I gestured to the colorless, broken figures of Leo and Chloe. and my gaze finally settled back on Evelyn's stricken face. And you who never told me anything, you sacrificed, you endured, but you never said a word. You just held it all inside, stewing in your own silent, noble suffering. It was pathetic and nauseating. You're just as guilty. With that, I stopped looking at anyone. I turned my back on the entire scene under the weight of hundreds of shocked, probing, and fearful stares. And amidst the explosive celebration of the chat, I walked through the silent crowd and out of that gilded, disgusting ballroom. Outside, the night air was cool and clean. I took a deep breath. Faintly from behind me, I could hear Leo's broken screams and Chloe's shrill, hysterical sobs. And beneath it all, Evelyn's suppressed, shattered whimpers. The taste of freedom. It was finally mixed with something else. The truth. The chat was still in a state of euphoric meltdown in my head. I destroyed them. Cole absolutely destroyed them tonight. From villain to god in one video. The ball is in Evelyn's court now. What will she do? Forget the reconciliation arc. The script has been rewritten. Cole, are you accepting applications for a new girlfriend? Leo and Chloe are socially executed, so damn satisfying. C, turn around. Evelyn needs you. I'm begging. The next day at noon, the paperwork for my personal trust arrived from my lawyer. My phone rang. It was my father again. Hello, Cole, get home now. I know what happened last night. I brought Evelyn back to the house. Whether you two can get back together is up to you now. His voice was urgent. Just get back here. Explain things. Apologize to her. You can still be a family. The chat scrolled by. Why? Yes. Go, Mr. Anderson Sr. Get back together. Evelyn's heart has softened. Go for it, Cole. The reconciliation is back on. Time to get remarried. Home, my voice was flat. Which home is that? The Anderson estate. Weren't you the one who personally kicked me out yesterday? I assume you've already had my name taken off the deed. The other end of the line went silent. The chat piped up, oof, a lethal comeback. Cole holds a grudge. JPEG, the old man just got owned. My father cleared his throat, trying a different tactic. That was just said in anger. You're my son. We're blood. Everything this family has is rightfully yours. As long as you come back and make things right with Evelyn, I cut him off. Dad, you're being ridiculous. Yesterday, for the sake of a woman you decided was a good daughter-in-law, at your own son's face and called him heartless and blind. You told me to get the hell out of this house, that the Anderson family no longer has you as its heir. I recited his words back to him perfectly. Every word was a dagger, and you said them with such conviction. So, what happened? One night passes. You find out your good daughter-in-law was the victim of a conspiracy, and your good son wasn't so blind after all. And suddenly we're blood again. The family fortune is mine again. Your sense of family and fortune seems to be on a pretty convenient switch, doesn't it? Depends on your mood. The chat was a waterfall. Damn, every word is a critical hit. Is Cole's tongue laced with poison? I wonder if the old man's face is stinging right now. The master of reverse pua, my father's breathing, was heavy, clearly enraged. You ungrateful brat. I am your father. Yes, I conceded. Which makes you even more interesting. A father who, to protect an in-law he's known for a few years, was willing to disown his own son. To throw him out on the street without a second thought, without asking a single question or listening to a single explanation, believing only what he wanted to believe. Your skewed logic is truly touching. Now that the truth is out, you think a few empty words said in anger, and where blood can just erase what happened yesterday. Dad, you can't unspill the milk. The moment you pushed me out that door, I stopped being a part of the Anderson family. You can adopt Evelyn as your daughter or keep her as your daughter-in-law. That's your business, just don't involve me. I'm doing just fine on my own. The chat was a masterclass in logic. The old man has no defense. He's guilty as charged. Cole says, no to emotional manipulation. This level of self-awareness. I love it. But what about Evelyn? There was a long silence on the phone, filled only with my father's ragged breathing. Then someone else took the phone. It was Evelyn. Her voice was hoarse and dry. Cole, can we talk alone? The chat went into overdrive. Evelyn's making a move. Oh, say yes. Cole, this is your chance. Remarriage countdown initiated. The reconciliation is happening. Back to the clerk's office. I let out a short, sharp laugh. It was crystal clear through the phone. Talk about how pitiful you were for being deceived for 3 years. Talk about how I've finally been vindicated. Talk about how we should now cherish each other and get back together. Evelyn, save it. I was the one who signed the papers at the clerk's office, so were you. My father was the one who threw me out. You stood by and let it happen. In your mind, I was still the blind, cruel monster who killed your child and tortured you for 3 years. Cole Anderson, you weren't wrong to feel that way because for those 3 years, the person who hurt you really did have this name and this face, even though it wasn't me. But I'll accept the blame for his actions. So, I signed the papers. I left the family home. I've paid the price I owed. We're even. Now, the truth is out. You feel wronged. You feel deceived. You feel like you owe me an apology. Don't. The person you owe an apology to is the original foolish Cole Anderson. The one who genuinely loved you but was tricked and misled into making a terrible mistake. Unfortunately for you, you all ganged up and destroyed him. The person I am now, I don't hate you, but I don't owe you anything either. And I certainly don't need your guilt or your compensation. It's like that old song goes, I'll see you off 1,000 miles away. Your apology is something I don't deserve. So, let's not talk. Ms. Ex-wife, I wish you the best. Try to stay away from scumbags in the future. Goodbye. No, actually, let's just not see each other again. Without waiting for a reply, I hung up. Then, I blocked my father's number, too. The world was finally quiet. The sunlight streamed onto the floor. It was warm, quiet, and liberating with just a hint of a clean, sharp break. The chat was still going. Cole, you are one ruthless bastard. I thought the truth coming out would lead to a happy ending, but this is the most definitive breakup I've ever seen. Evelyn, who am I even supposed to cry to now? This plot. The writer needs to be fired. Flip table. Cole with a triple rejection combo. He called her Ms. Ex-wife. That's so cold. I'll accept the blame. Damn, why is this kind of sad? You all ganged up and destroyed him. Whoa, that hits different when you think about it. So Cole thinks he's a completely different person. Winterback, more like Cole says, don't touch me. Cole just personally incinerated the reconciliation script. Evelyn must be completely stunned on the other end of that call. I tossed my phone aside. A few days later, news notifications started popping up on my phone. Foster Enterprises stock had plummeted by 90%. Their core projects were being systematically dismantled by Anderson Corp, and their funding had dried up. Leo Foster was under investigation for commercial fraud and embezzlement. As for Chloe Vance, a flood of private photos and audio recordings had been leaked, implicating her in blackmail and trading favors for cash. The Vance family went bankrupt. Creditors were camped on their doorstep, and Chloe herself had reportedly suffered a complete mental breakdown and been committed to a private psychiatric facility. The chat offered its commentary. That was Mr. Anderson Sr. A thunderous blow, and Queen Evelyn delivered the killing strike. Flawless victory. Leo is going to be taking a dive off a building soon. Chloe is completely finished. Revenge thriller mode activated. Where's Cole? He should be watching this. There was a knock on my apartment door. I opened it. Evelyn was standing. There her face was still a little pale, but her eyes were different, no longer empty or lost. They held a new mix of exhaustion, calm, and something else I couldn't quite place. She wore no makeup, just simple, elegant clothes. Can we talk? She asked. Not about getting back together. I stepped aside and let her in. The chat started up. Evelyn's here. If not about getting back together, then what? He let her in. Is there still a chance? The vibe feels different. She didn't sit, just stood in the middle of my living room looking at me. Leo is finished. Chloe is too. Dad, Mr. Anderson made the first move. I provided the evidence. I said, pouring myself a glass of water. All the proof has been uncovered, she continued. The miscarriage, it was Chloe. She bribed the doctor and made to fake the prenatal reports and call logs. Leo provided the money and the connections. He also deliberately set up that cozy scene with me while you were on your business trip. I set my glass down. She paused as if searching for the right words, her gaze complicated. We were both fools. I raised an eyebrow, kept in the dark, hurting each other for 3 years. She said, a bitter smile touching her lips, like two puppets on a string, completely played by them. We hated the wrong person, in our love. We used it all wrong. The chat. Evelyn has seen the light. My heart hurts for these two idiots. Just hug her. Cole. Now that the truth is out, it's time to heal. I looked at her and I asked, and she seemed taken aback by my response. And so we ... Evelyn. I cut her off. Fools is your word, not mine. She froze. You think we were fools? That we were deceived? That was all so tragic and pitiful. And now that we're vindicated, we should fall into each other's arms, crying, or at least forgive and forget. I took a step closer. She instinctively took a half step back. Stop being so dramatic, I said. My tone even the last 3 years. The pain was real. The damage was real. The miscarriage was real. The divorce was real. The fact that you hated me and wanted to escape me was real. And the fact that I signed those papers and walked away was also real. Now that the truth is out, does that just erase everything that happened? Does it delete all that pain and trauma with a single click? No, it's still there, like a scar, a reminder of how stupid we were, how easily manipulated, how utterly we failed. The chat, damn, that's cold, but he's not wrong. Cole is the voice of reason. Evelyn's eyes are getting red. Evelyn's lips moved, but I didn't give her the chance to speak. You say, we clearly loved each other. I looked at her, my eyes calm and empty of emotion. Evelyn, are you sure about that? 3 years ago, that blind, foolish Cole Anderson who only knew how to express his obsession through cruelty. He loved you. It was a twisted, idiotic, destructive love. And you, the Evelyn, who was hurt, deceived, and filled with a burning desire to escape. Are you sure you still loved him then? No, you hated him. You hated his guts. Now that Cole is dead, killed by a joint effort by you, by them, and by himself. The person standing in front of you now is not him. I don't hate you, but I can't say I love you either. To me, you, or my ex-wife. A title that carries a shred of more responsibility, maybe, or you could call it a final obligation to clean up the mess that idiot Cole left behind. Once that obligation is fulfilled, we're even. As for you, I looked at her pale face. Stop throwing the word love around. It's too flimsy. And stop dwelling on who is a fool or who owes what. It's meaningless. Look forward. Live your life. The status of being the daughter-in-law of Anderson Corp is more than enough to ensure you live well. Don't make love the center of your universe. Sometimes a hot meal is a lot more real than that. The chat exploded. Is this Cole the philosopher? Love isn't as good as a hot meal. Evelyn, who am I? Where am I? Why did I come here? His character, development arc is total enlightenment. Winner back. More like Cole. I have renounced all worldly attachments. He talked her into a state of shock. Evelyn just stood there, stunned. The complex emotions in her eyes were completely replaced by a blank confusion. She looked at me as if I were a complete stranger. After a long time, she finally asked, her voice very, very soft. Then, what do you want now? I smiled. A faint, easy smile. I want to be left alone. 3 meals a day, peace and quiet, freedom, and to be far away from all of you complicated people and your drama. The farther, the better. The chat, his ultimate goal, is to just vibe. Cole, don't love me. It won't work out. Evelyn is officially out of the running. The reconciliation script has been cremated and its ashes scattered to the wind. Evelyn didn't say another word. She looked at me for a long time. Her expression held shock, confusion, residual pain, and maybe a final liberating sense of acceptance. At last, she just nodded. She turned, opened the door, and walked out cleanly and without looking back. The chat, Evelyn gave up. It's for the best. Live your best lives separately. Cole, thank God she's finally gone. This ending is so unexpected, yet it makes perfect sense. Title change. How the tragic male lead achieved a state of pure indifference. Time passed quickly. A year, then 2. I was doing well, very well. When I split my assets from the family, my father, in the end, didn't have the heart to cut me off completely. The amount of capital I took with me was substantial enough to get started. I didn't go back to Anderson Corp. I used the money to make my own investments. My luck was good, and my instincts were sharp. After a few successful ventures, the money doubled, then doubled again. Now I don't lack for money. My time is my own. My mind is clear. I never got tangled up in that thing called love again. I never let myself be trapped by emotions. The world is simple. My goals are clear. Make money. Enjoy life. Whatever feels good, I do it. Traveling, scuba diving, skiing, or just lying on the balcony of my penthouse. Soaking up the sun, reading a book, sleeping in. No one to answer to. No one to bother me. Just peace and quiet. But occasionally, at unavoidable events, industry summits, charity galas, I'd run into Evelyn. She holds a high position at Anderson Corp now. My father has been personally mentoring her. She's become a formidable executive, sharp and decisive. She is no longer the pale, haunted woman with empty eyes. The Evelyn of today is radiant with a powerful presence. The first time we saw each other at a gala, our eyes met across the crowded room. She gave me a slight nod. I nodded back. We didn't speak as we passed each other. The second time was at a cocktail party. She walked over, a glass in her hand. Long time no see, she said. Yeah, I raised my glass. I hear you're doing well, she said. Her tone was casual, as if she were talking about the weather. Can't complain. I'm not starving. We clinked glasses and went our separate ways. The third time, the fourth, we started running into each other more often. Sometimes we'd exchange a few words about work, about the market, harmless, superficial topics, like old friends. Or perhaps more like familiar strangers. The chat would occasionally flicker to life. Cole is getting more and more handsome. A free man just glows differently. Evelyn has transformed. 2. Total queen energy. They look so good together. A real power couple. Such a shame though. What's a shame? They're both thriving on their own. Not a good thing. No one ever mentioned the past. No one mentioned love. No one mentioned getting back together. It was an unspoken agreement. That chapter was closed for good. At another gala, the lighting was dim. The music was soft, and the room was filled with a low murmur. I was leaning against the bar, just zoning out and watching the crowd. Evelyn walked over empty-handed this time. Got a minute? She asked. Sure, I said. We walked out onto the terrace. A cool night breeze washed over us. She leaned against the railing, turning her head to look at me. She just watched me for a while, her expression a little complex. It was probing, nostalgic, and then finally softened into a small smile. "Cole," she began, "the way you are now, .. She paused, searching for the right words. "It's really attractive," she said, looking straight at me, her gaze open and honest. There was no flirtation, no hidden agenda. It was like she was stating a simple objective fact. I raised an eyebrow, a little surprised. "Is that so?" I smiled. "You think it's about money?" "No," she said, shaking her head. "Seriously, it's your attitude." "What attitude?" "The attitude of not caring." She looked out at the glittering city lights. "You don't care about any of it. You're not tied down by anything. You're free, you're clear-headed, you know what you want and what you don't." She turned back to me. "That attitude, it's very compelling." "Before," she added, her tone flat, "you didn't have it before." I smirked. "That idiot before had nothing but caring and angst." She didn't argue, which was a silent agreement. So, I took a sip of the club soda left in my glass. "Now, it's better." "Yes, it is better," she said. She didn't say anything else. I didn't ask. I didn't ask if she was happy, if my father was doing well, if Anderson Corp was thriving. There was no need. The fact that we were both doing well, on our own, was the best answer. We stood there for a while, the night breeze growing cooler. Heading back in, I asked. "Okay," she said. We walked back into the ballroom, one after the other, and blended back into the lights and noise like two streams that had briefly converged, only to peacefully diverge again, each flowing toward its own distant horizon. The last few lines of the chat scrolled across my vision, and that's a wrap. Cole really did live happily ever after. Queen Evelyn is thriving on her own. Long may she reign. This ending was unexpected, but makes perfect sense. The reconciliation arc turned into a permanent vacation. Cole, you magnificent bastard. Long live freedom. Goodbye, Cole. Goodbye, Evelyn. Goodbye, stupid plot. Life went on. The sun was bright. The wind was free. I was driving my convertible down a coastal highway with no destination in mind, just moving forward. The window was down and the salty sea air rushed in, cool and crisp against my face. The radio was playing some old classic rock song. I hummed along completely off-key. My mood was like the sky above me, wide open, bright, and cloudless. Pure bliss.